Hello, I'm Maryanna Franco, and I'm here again with Jason Barnard.
Hello, and welcome.
We will talk about another topic today, and it will be about refreshed information in the SERPs, how they discover it, index it, and how's it going to be in the future. So you have a lot to say about this.
Yes, I do, like many of the topics.
Yeah, it's very hard to get into.
I get the feeling you've chosen the topic because you know I've got a lot to say about it. In this particular case, it's truly about content creation.
Yeah.
What's useful to do and what isn't useful to do in the coming years.
I am so tired of all of these, companies and content creation companies and agencies that are just, posting on LinkedIn, social media, or as their own reference numbers. We publish these many articles and look how our traffic grew and stuff like that. And with ChatGPT. And many times they don't show the afterwards, which is, there's an update and everything crashes because Google, suddenly figures out that none of that makes sense, because in the end, using ChatGPT is basically shuffling and using information already existing, shuffling it and pretending that there is a new article with information that is already out there.
Right. I think I need to re-explain that in a clearer manner. For once, you were saying something important.
For once?
Sorry, no. But in a way that doesn't make sense to people who aren't in the industry. And I think kind of what needs to be clarified, if I may, generally you're clarifying what I say because I get too geeky. You've just had the same problem. Is that a lot of content creators for SEO will create vast amounts of content using AI, Gemini, ChatGPT, or another machine, and then spit it out as new content. They get it to rank on Google. They get the traffic. But then what happens is Google realizes that the content is not original, is not helpful, and then it all drops off. So it's a temporary win, which is great for short term, and will get your client, keep your client on board, make you some money as an SEO, which is, fair game. But from a wider perspective, we're looking at a huge problem, because what's happening here is that you're asking the machine to create content. It doesn't know what it's saying. As we said in the previous episode, if it doesn't have the information, it will make it up. It will invent stuff, which means you're publishing things on your website with your name behind it saying this is true. Whereas in fact, the machine invented the information. The machine then reads the information back and thinks, oh, this is true. And it becomes true. So you're generating or reassuring the machine with false, fake misinformation. That for me is a huge problem. And it's a worry. The next question along is, if you do create real human created content, which I do advise, what is the best thing to focus on? And the answer is, don't focus on trying to do the same content as somebody else, but better, unless it's for your audience, your human audience. Because the machines, once they've learned something, don't need to relearn it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes all sense.
Super.
So basically, if I take to the extreme, right, what you're saying is that I want to publish a new article on my website. It's about a topic that someone else has written, but I want to write it with my own words. However, the information is not new, so Google will never crawl it.
That would be an extreme. We can temper that, balance it out with look at your entire website. Some of the content is going to be things that other people have said. That's natural. You need to set your own words. And that's part of your educating the machine, as we said in an earlier episode, about who you are, what you do, who you serve, and how you want to be presented and how you represent your product, services, and yourself to your audience. So you need that duplicate content.
Yeah.
In this case, duplicate means simply repeating something somebody else has said as opposed to exact match duplicate content. But if you only ever do that, the machine will not come back to you after a while because you're not providing it with information that fills what they call the information gap, i.e. things the machine didn't previously know. The machine is always going to favor in the future websites that provide information that it didn't yet know, and websites that present fresh information. So by default, information it didn't already know or that didn't exist previously. That's where the key is.
Yeah. But can I just ask, so from, a general point of view, let's say that I know nothing. And in my mind right now, there are so many new pages getting published every minute of every day. It's such an amount that it's unbelievable. And most of them, I would say that at the moment, 70% of them probably are just repetition or something for empty traffic or just getting clickbait, stuff like that. So my point here being like, at what point will the machine say, I have enough of this, And I already know this company, and this company. So competitors that will show up and that are not present in their, let's say, knowledge graph or something are just out. Because I do not have the processing capability to crawl so many thousands of pages filled with nothing, with empty words.
What you're talking about fundamentally is, does the machine believe that you are a valuable source of information for it moving forwards? Mm-hmm. And at some point, it's going to start excluding entire websites, saying this is not likely to give me extra information that's important.
Yeah.
Google in particular are going to go down that path unless they adopt Bing. The Bing standard, which is IndexNow. Google are just trying to crawl the web and figure out what's out there, and they find stuff by luck and obviously very smart algorithms. With Bing, what they're saying is, if you install our little plugin, or if you use Cloudflare or Wix or another major platform, we will be proactively informed every time you create new content. Mm-hmm. And from Fabrice Canal from Bing is saying that means that we can reduce our carbon footprint significantly because we don't go looking for web pages. Hopefully, we go there intentionally. And that's all the difference in the world. So my bet is at some point Google are going to adopt IndexNow or create their own version. Who knows with Google? But certainly they can't just keep trying to crawl the internet at its vastness. They're going to have to save resources at some point. And Fabrice makes the great point. Google is increasingly out of date. It doesn't get the fresh information because it doesn't have that
capacity to just...
it can't find it. But if with IndexNow, they immediately get informed that the new website is there. And I actually tried it the other day.
Okay.
I got an interview on Sky News. Sky News was saying Jason Barnard says about Blue Sky compared to Twitter. And there were a lot of pickups on it. So there were multiple outlets that took up that story. Google got 3 of them. Bing got 10.
Okay.
Out of a total of 12.
Yeah.
That's really good going. And it shows that Bing is fresh, up to date, and that was in the first day.
Looking at, the future, right? What I hear from you, and this is what you've been preaching to us for how many years now? 8, 9, 10 years almost?
Yes.
Yeah. 9.
2005, 15 we created.
Yeah, but next year is 2025. So almost 10. I want to be invited to the party.
Yeah, I can blow out 9 candles. 10 is too many. So I'm worried.
Okay. So question is, what we are saying right now basically means that the only thing, if the companies don't act now, they don't have a chance to stand in the future. Wait, I didn't finish my question. So in the future, it won't matter if you create 100,000 new blogs because that's it. Google already, or Bing, they will already have indexed and basically put on their little knowledge graph, whatever interests them. And so in the future, what I want to say is that in the future, basically, all you need is your website, your about information, your products or services or something. You will not need fluff anymore. There will be much less, I think, top of the funnel or very broad top of the funnel articles out there.
Which is a very good point. 2 things there. Number one is we often forget Bing, but with ChatGPT and many other engines, Bing is the resource being used because Bing need that visibility. Google don't. Google want to keep everything for themselves because they dominate 90%. Microsoft, Bing are happy to get their technology, their search results, but they are the gatekeepers. They're the only 2 companies who have the capacity to crawl the web and get all that information. That's kind of point number 1. Point number 2 is if we all stop thinking about our website and start thinking about our entire digital footprint, the story changes very slightly. because we can create top of the funnel stuff, put it in front of our audience because it's useful to our audience. The machines don't necessarily need that information, but that information will send them a very strong signal that we are serving our audience. So I would argue top of the funnel will become more user-focused, person-focused.
Yeah.
And as you come to the bottom of the funnel, you need to educate the machine more and more. So I agree with your point that on website fluff, top of the funnel content should hopefully diminish, because that top of the funnel stuff is by nature generalist standard information that doesn't change much over time.
I think that it's, if I may just say this, the top of the funnel information has been losing a lot of quality. And because, I mean, if you look at the state of the internet, right, like 10 years ago or something, there wasn't obviously as much as there is now. And this top of the funnel is probably something new, interesting that you wanted to read. Nowadays, it's just mostly created. No one thinks, oh, the user would really like to know this, let me create it. It's just about, oh, I don't rank for this keyword, let me create this article. And it's just, so I think that, yes, top of the funnel will always be important for users, but there is just too much nowadays. And I don't see value for most of the things that I read.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, what I would like I think we can conclude that really simply with content is you need to continue creating content that focuses on describing who you are, what you do, who you serve, how you serve them, recreating your funnel in the brains of these machines, and also creating a great funnel for your human audience when they're on your website. You also need to create content that you can spread around the internet across your entire digital footprint to demonstrate to the machines that you're actually useful for the subset of their users, for your audience, and in parallel, draw people down the funnel so you actually get the clients from it, which is a huge bonus. And thirdly, ensure that the machines continue to come back to you for information because you are creating information or content that provides information that is new, original, and fresh. That's the secret to the next years.
And top of the funnel will be completely satisfied by ChatGPT and all of these things. So great. So now we know how to create a great content strategy for the future. And if you want to know about the geeky stuff on how this content will be indexed and interpreted by the machines, then stick with us and we'll tell you all about it in our next episode.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.